Okay, so guys, very good morning to all of you. Welcome to the online awareness session of SQL. My name is Sangeeta, and we are going to discuss about the importance of SQL and the awareness of SQL in this today's session, guys. So I would definitely want to start from the scratch. So guys, first and foremost, how many of you are aware of what do you mean by a database? What do you mean by a database, guys? Anyone?
Database is basically a collection of data, which will be like available in the form of file, or it will be like available in the form of table.
Makes sense. Okay, so guys, let me just give you everything from a very simple understanding, because point number one, first, what is SQL? And I'm sure you all can see in my screen, SQL stands for structured query language. What does that mean in simple language? SQL is a database tool. Now, what do you mean by a database tool? So guys, I'm sure when you were working on in your workshop as a business analyst, we all knew what were servers, right? What do you mean by a server? A server is a temporary repository that is used to save your data while the project is in progress. You agree? Right? So now what is happening is, once the project has been deployed, once the project has been handed over to the client, we will move the data to a database, because tomorrow in the future, what if the client wants to get any information, or we would want to use this information to another project, we would definitely go and get into the database. So what happened is, initially, previously, database is not one table or one record. I'm sure you guys, you all know what is in a database, right? Database consists of, can anyone tell me? What does a database consist of?
Data collection.
No.
Packets.
No, please, no.
Tables
No.
and rows.
Tables and records. Guys, if you go back to a workshop again, in simple terminology, database, tables and records. Okay, so the whole database consists of multiple tables. Now, please understand, when I'm talking about a database, guys, it is not like 10 tables or 20 records. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of tables and millions of records. Imagine Google, imagine Microsoft, imagine these huge MNCs where they store the data. Okay, so what happens is, when you're talking about a database, and when I want to retrieve a data or retrieve an information from the database, this query, whatever I mention or whatever information I want, I will enter into my system, and it has to retrieve the data in few seconds. Clear so far, guys? Any questions, please stop me. Okay, I have to get the data back in few seconds. Initially, few years before, what happened was, data retrieval was a big challenge for multiple IT people, employees. Okay, retrieving data used to take hours and hours. But now that problem is solved. Now data is retrieved within seconds. How is that possible? Because we are using a tool. Now, you getting it, guys? Right? We are, guys, please mute. Someone is speaking. So we would definitely use a tool to do the data information. I'm sure you have this Power BI Tableau where you do data visualization. You create data there. Now, in order to edit data, in order to view the data, in order to add any new fields or records, you need a tool. And that tool is called as SQL. Clear, guys? Any questions so far?
No, ma'am.
Hello.
Good? Yeah, please, ma'am, go ahead.
Could you please come again?
What do you want me to come again, ma'am? I was speaking for the past 5 minutes.
No, I just joined right now. Could you please come again?
I've just introduced what is SQL. If you look at my screen, I have just introduced what is SQL, ma'am. Okay. What do you mean by a database tool? Why do we need a database tool and all stuff like that? Okay. Now, and get into this database? Why should I even learn? So guess what happens in reality is, whenever you're working on a client project, whenever you're working on a project, I always tell students that we should have a 360 degrees approach of the project. You cannot say that, madam, I'm a functional guy, I have no idea what is happening in the backend. At least as a business analyst, you should have the basic understanding of what is the database, how does the data flow, and what is happening at the backend. Okay. Now, having said that, the client might say, Sangeeta, can you please go and check if that record is there in the database? Or should I actually introduce or add a new table? I'll give you a very simple example. Let's assume I work for Amazon. Okay. Now, when I'm working for an Amazon, I am an Amazon employee, and I work on this project. Now, I would want to add a new client. Let's assume I want to add a new company like Apple 05. It's a very new company. It has just introduced, or a simple example, I'm sure you all know what is Patanjali, right? What if Patanjali wants to do business in Amazon? Can Patanjali just start selling products just from the next day? Guys,
No,
can you
ma'am.
please
No.
mute? There's someone back end who's, I can hear some background noise. Please mute. Thank you. Can I sell the products on Patanjali from the minute I say yes?
No, ma'am.
Then what do you think the Amazon and Patanjali must do? What do you think these companies must do? They have to.
A proper marketing.
Very good. That is there. I have to sell everything. That is not a BS job, ma'am. That is done by somebody else. I have to introduce the data, or I have to include the data in the database. Tomorrow, when I say I needed Patanjali toothpaste, how is the toothpaste coming to the screen?
Through database.
Only if that item is there in the database. Okay. So please remember, as a business analyst, if I have to start working on this project, I have to undoubtedly introduce these products in the database. Now, for a business analyst, if you look at my screen, clearly says that. Ma'am, please mute yourself. Okay. So now if I have to introduce these products in my application, I definitely have to add these products into the database. Clear, guys? I have put Prasanna, I have already put everyone on the mute. Do you still find any background noise?
No, ma'am.
No, right? We are good, right?
Now fine, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so as a business analyst, you will only be able to view the data, guys. Now, one good news for all of us, people who have no technical knowledge or very new to SQL, please do not worry, because business analysts will not use SQL in a large extent. The way you work on Jira, the way you work on Visio, Balsamic, Azure, we will not go to those extents with SQL. Okay, because as I mentioned earlier, guys, I always tell you that database is a very, very, very secured area where not everybody is given an access. Nobody is given an access except if it is requested for. Okay, a database administrator, a database architect, and other database related staff can only have the access to a database. It could be SQL, it could be MySQL, anything. To a database, only those people are given an access, and business analyst, unfortunately, is not given an access. Okay, you will be only able to view the tables and view the records. That is it. Any questions so far? Any doubts? What is a database tool, guys? No doubts, right?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am, I have just joined the class, ma'am, just few minutes ago. Can you please explain once again, ma'am?
Sir, I'm very sorry. I won't be able to do that because it's been 10 minutes I've started the session. Probably if you can just look, I've been recording the session, so you can definitely go back and look into it. I just explain you what is a database and why is it important to a business analyst. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, guys? Yeah, thank you. So one of the very important and a very popular database tool is called as SQL. Okay, if you look at the screen, it's yeah.
When here the sentence is it's a language, not a database.
I'm sorry. Sorry, your voice is breaking, ma'am.
My question is in here you notes your presentation. It's a language. SQL is a language, not a database.
True. The reason why this saying is it's a language to retrieve the information from the database. SQL is not a database. SQL is only a tool with which you get the access to the database. Clear?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So guys, this is what SQL is for, and it is you will not be asked what is the history of SQL though, but definitely the full form of SQL is definitely asked by you. Now let's move forward. So guys, once you understand this SQL, okay, once you understand what is SQL, basically SQL is practiced on SSMS demo. It is basically a dummy application through which we will practice SQL. Okay, if you look at screen, we have this dummy application that is called as SQL Server machine learning system. Okay, this is where Umesh, that will be a little difficult, Umesh, because if I start the session, if you have a question, they will forget the question. Okay, so I'm not authorized to mute everybody on force. Definitely, if it's a relevant question, it will be relevant to ask then and there. Definitely, it will not be extended question for sure. Okay. Yes. So it is basically SSMS stands for SQL Server Machine Learning System, wherein you will be getting some sample data and you will be able to practice on it. As I mentioned earlier, SQL is a connection to the database. So we will not be getting any real-time access to the database. So there are many such trial versions available in the market with which we can learn SQL, or we can practice from SQL. However, as I mentioned earlier, as a business analyst, we will not get into the very high details of SQL, guys. Okay. Now, under this SQL or SQL, you would be able to extract reports. You will be able to extract or validate the reports. And please understand, it is not confined to any IT industry. Please, if you're feeling that IT is the only area where SQL is used, no. It is used wherever there's a database, people would use SQL because it's a very easy tool to learn. So as you mentioned here, you can use it in IT industry, finance domain, banking domain, retail domain, and many more. Okay, many more. Clear? Just a second, guys. Clear, guys? Okay, so this is where we will learn, and I'll also show you what kind of an application that we can install from the computer. You don't have to have any admin guy doing this, which I'll explain you how you can get this open source SQL system. Okay, guys, and after some time I'll explain you that as well. Now, guys, if you look at this screen, some of the basic facts of SQL is, as I mentioned earlier, first, why is this database such an important concept? See, when we have a very simple example that I want to explain here is of Naukri. When you go to your Naukri or Monster, what happens there, guys? You want to apply for a job. What happens to your resume there? When you apply in Naukri or Monster, what happens to your resume? Your resume is going and getting saved as a data or as a record in Naukri's database. How can you get alerts? How can you get any kind of offers or discounts based on your job requirements? That is only and only because your record is saved in data, and it will only be available to the concerned people when they put the right search. Like for example, if let's assume I say business analyst in my resume and I upload the resume. When a recruiter puts the keywords saying business analyst, don't you agree your resume should pop up? You agree? And how is it popping up? Only because the right keywords are touching the right table or the right record. I'll show you in a minute what, with an example, what and how the database actually behaves at the back end. So guys, we have two types of database that is available or which is known to the people. One is called as Dbms. The other one is called as Rdbms. Now, what is the basic difference, guys? See, DBMS is nothing but database management system. Hello? Okay. So guys, what do you mean by DBMS? Database management system, and Rdbms, relational database management system. What's the basic difference? Let me explain. So guys, before, what happened was, a database architect used to create these tables and records in the database, and he used to just put them in a right order. And guys, are you aware what is a table and what does it look like? I will just show you. Okay. Guys, if you all can see my screen, this is a table. Okay, this is called as a table, and whatever you see here, the green ones are called as entities, and whatever you see inside, which is Will Smith, Sean Smith, Christina, and Alexandra, are records. Okay, so now going back to DBMS, what happened was, earlier a database administrator used to create those tables and entities, which was very independent in nature, and he used to put them
Hello,
in the
Sangeeta.
database.
Sorry for
Yeah.
interrupting. I'm not able to see your screen.
Guys, you're able to see my screen?
Yes.
You are
Yes,
showing
ma'am.
purple, na?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that I'm not able to see. In SQL introducing page is available on your screen.
Guys, are you able to see what is the purpose of database?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
You just check your screen, because I think the others are able to view it. Okay.
Okay, I'll read that.
Yes, please. Okay. So guys, what happened was, earlier that this database administrator used to create these tables, records, and entities and leave it in the database. Okay. So guys, have you all taken this workshop? So we have all finished the workshop, right? Okay.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
if I want a two-wheeler loan as per the example, which tables must I go and approach? The bank table I have to go to. I have to go to the customer table. I have to go to the customer information table, and so on and so forth. Now, what is happening? I am able to go to multiple tables and get the right data, and then the decision is made based on that information. Okay. Earlier, what used to happen was, there was no relationship between these tables. It was just sitting there. So the right information was not being coming back to the customer. So database or DBMS was originally more like a file. There was no connection between the tables. But now, because the data retrieval was a very huge challenge earlier, this Rdbms have come with, and SQL supports Rdbms, relationship database management systems, wherein we are creating a relationship within the database where the retrieval or the information is faster, accurate, and extremely to the point. Clear so far, guys? What's the basic difference with DBMS and Rdbms? Any doubts?
Once
Ma'am, can
again,
you
ma'am,
explain
once again.
once
Which
more,
one?
please?
With DBMS, there is no relation, guys, between the tables and entities. With Rdbms, there is a relationship between this, between different tables. See, if you look at this screen of mine, see, DBMS applications store data as file, simple file, and they are only stored in either a hierarchical form or a navigational form. What if I want any extra data? It will not give me. Okay, and there was no relationship between the tables. It's a very, very important point, guys. In Dbms, there was no relationship between tables. For everything, I had to manually enter the information, only then it will come up. There was no relationship. And if the data is very small for a small organization, single user, then yes, I can use Dbms. And what is an example? It is XML files. But now, because data has become very, very important now, and every company is working only related to the data, this Rdbm has come, wherein this Rdbms may the information is stored in a tabular format. There is a relationship between these values. I'll explain you what are the primary key in a minute, guys. It is all stored in tables, and there's a relationship between the tables and the entities. Clear so far, guys? Now, with the help of Rdbms, any database administrator can go and look into the database. What if I resign? My other person can come and do this, because it is multiple user handling system. Clear so far, guys? And what are the examples? MySQL, PostgreSQL Server, and Oracle. And there are many such examples of Rdbms. Now, is it clear what is Dbms and Rdbms?
Yes.
Yes.
Someone has. Excel is more like a Dbms only, Gajanan.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thanks.
There is no relationship there, no? That's it. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, what are the basic functions of an SQL? Or before that, let me just explain you what is relationship here. I want to explain this. Yeah. So, guys, whenever I'm talking about SQL, how is this relationship actually created in this SQL? I'll just show you a very basic example, guys. It is something important to you. In your SQL, the tables are like this. See, a row is called as a record. If you look at this, a row, what is a row? This ID, name, city, state, and the pin code, they're all called as rows. Okay. And if you look at it, the column is called as a field. Okay, guys. So what is a record? A row is called as a record, and the column is called as a field. Clear? Now, let me explain this here. How does this Rdbms actually work in SQL? See, so guys, here let's assume I have a retail store, and we have certain tables and fields and rows here. Okay, so guys, here I have 3 tables, if you notice. See, and please listen to this carefully, guys. It's a very important one and little confusing also, so please try to listen carefully. So guys, we have 3 tables here. One is called as a sales table, the other one is called as an item table, and the other one is called as a customer table. Now, if you look at the entities here, I have a sale ID, an item ID, a customer ID, quantity, and price. Okay, then in the item table, I have item ID, the name of the item, and the description of the item. Here in the customer table, I have the ID again, name, state, city, and the pin. Now, according to you, what is repetitive in all of these 3 tables?
ID.
The ID. You agree? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, do you see a key symbol there?
Yeah.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
That key symbol is called as a primary key. What do you mean by a primary key? A primary key is a unique key or a unique item that is very much unique to individual table. Now, can you say that 1 in sales table is equal to 1 in item table?
No.
And 1 in sales table, is it equivalent to 1 in customer table?
No.
The answer is no. So now what is happening? These individual tables are called as Dbms. Dbms. No relationship, no?
Yeah.
Now, what if I want to know which customer?
Not understood. Not understood. Can you please once again?
No, see, here, if you look at the ID 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, my question is, can you confirm that the 1 in sales table is equivalent to 1 in item table?
No, ma'am. No, no, no.
And 1 in item table is it equivalent to 1 in customer table?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Right? All these 1 are different. You agree?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Agree.
Now, is there any relationship between these 3 tables?
No, ma'am.
No, right? So what am I saying? Because there is no relationship now, if I want to get the sales of the company, which table should I go?
First one. First
one.
sales table.
Now, sales table. I only get the sales of that company. Chalo, ho gaya. Now, if I want to know how many items the company sells, what table should I go?
Item table.
Shouldn't I manually go and again type item and then again I get that information? You agree? Now, if I want to know how much did Will Smith purchase or which city he is, I have to go to third table. So there is no relationship on it. And even when I'm speaking also, don't you agree it is a too tedious activity to go to individual table and pull out the data? You agree? And will it take a lot of time?
Yes.
The answer is undoubtedly. Guys, I need a confident yes. Guys, any questions here?
Yes, ma'am.
No doubts, clear?
Ma'am, hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ma'am, this sales and item I understood, but the last one, ma'am, customer.
Customer, it is only a customer, ma'am. It is basically
Okay,
name of the customer, the state, the way he lives, what is the city he living in, what is the pin. I'm only have customer data there. That's it.
Okay, so ma'am, in this particular table, ma'am, if we are supposed given to fetch the data from the sales, we'll go to the sales table, right?
Exactly.
And then if item, then we'll go to item, then customer, then we'll go to customer, right? Different.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
No, what happened is, what I'm trying to tell you is, there is no relationship here. You notice? It is a very tedious job to go to individual table and get the data, right? So guys, please understand, every table will have a primary key. Okay, and in this scenario, a unique key that is very unique, which is not repetitive in nature, is called as a primary key. Clear so far, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, in this first table, what is that unique key here, which is not repetitive in nature?
ID.
Sales ID.
Sale ID. Sale ID. You agree? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is not repetitive. In this item, in this item table, item ID, because camera can be repetitive, memory card can be repetitive. You agree? Similarly, in the customer table also, ID is a unique key. Clear what is a primary key? Now, the second type of a key that is here is called as a foreign key. Now, what is a foreign key, guys? Foreign key is that element which will connect multiple tables together. Now, see what happened. I want to know the sales of camera. I want to know how much of camera, what are the sales of the camera. Now, what did I do here? I will link the item ID to the sales table. You agree? Now, can I know how many cameras have, forget this customer ID. Only look at the item. Again, repeating, I want to know how many cameras have been sold.
1
4.
Yes.
4.
Right? What will I do? I will introduce this item ID to one table. I will create one foreign key. Then I know that this item ID 1, which is camera, how many has been sold?
3.
3. And what is the price I got? I received the profit 90,000 rupees. Clear now? Abhishek, Abhishek, this is a very new topic, Abhishek. You don't have to do any workshop. There was no workshop on SQL. Don't worry. The workshop I was referring to is a BA workshop.
Means the course, ma'am.
Exactly.
Like tutorial
the
online
course.
too.
The course. Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
guys, sorry, I'm very sorry. Workshop, the course is what I'm going to introduce, not this SQL. Okay. So, guys, now coming back, I told you. Now, if I want to know how many memory cards I have purchased or sales have happened, what do? I have to
Number 2.
introduce the item ID to the sales and then see one item has been sold and it is 1,500 rupees. Clear now? Now,
Yes.
can you tell me how many did Will Smith, what did Will Smith purchase?
Ma'am, camera.
Very good. Will Smith has purchased a camera and he has spent 30,000 rupees. You all agree now?
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, this is called as a relationship DBMS. This is called as Rdbms. This, whatever you see here, the green ones are called as foreign key. Because is it originally a part of this table?
No, ma'am.
It's no. It is outside, foreign side came from a different table. It has come only to get that information. You agree? Right?
Yes,
That is why it is called as a foreign key. Now, this customer ID who Sean Smith has purchased camera and he has 3 quantity and the price is 90,000 rupees. Clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
So this
Ma'am,
is how.
what if Will Smith has bought a camera and memory card also? Then how will we connect them?
Then if you can say that here again 2. You see this 2 too?
Yeah, ma'am.
Sean Smith has purchased a camera and also a memory card. 90,000 plus 1,500. See this customer ID 2.
Yeah, 2. Yeah, it is there.
Sean Smith is 2, no?
Yeah.
So Sean Smith is 2, right? So Sean Smith has purchased.
Okay. Got it. A camera plus
a memory card.
Memory card. Okay.
Yeah. Like that, you will get the sales receipt.
Ma'am, Ganesh here, Wanda.
Yeah, please.
In customer ID column in sales table, the starting 2 figures are 2. Whereas in customer table, Will Smith customer ID is 1 and Sean Smith customer ID is 2. So according to me, I think there will
here customer ID is 2, no? Sean Smith.
Yes.
Here, do you see the other 2?
Yes, ma'am. But
Sean Smith.
So according to this data, Sean Smith purchased 2 items. That is camera quantity 3 nose and another is 1 nose of for this one.
Yes.
Camera.
Yes.
But in case of ma'am Will Smith, customer ID is again 2, whereas it
customer ID is 1, no? Will Smith ka.
Will Smith का लेकिन वो सेल्स टेबल में मैडम कस्टमर आईडी 2 दिखा रहा है ना?
नहीं 1 दिखा रहा है ना यहाँ. Third one.
It's showing 1, ma'am. It's showing 1.
No, ma'am. Second one.
Second one is 2. Customer ID is, that is Sean Smith ka purchase है ये. This is Sean Smith's purchase.
Yes, I got it. Both the items are purchased by same person.
This third one is by Will Smith. This Will Smith has purchased a camera which is 30,000 rupees.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Okay, guys. Yes, please.
Like quantity and all, we need to enter that manually.
No. This is no. We will not enter. I mean, we in the sense you are asking a business analyst, right? No, not at all, sir.
Okay.
Business analyst will not. I'm sorry to interrupt here. A business analyst will not have any access whatsoever in the database. Whatever tables I am showing, sir, is actually created by a database administrator only.
Okay.
Not by a BA.
Okay, ma'am. These 3 tables, it is all interlinked to schema, right?
This yes, undoubtedly yes. This is a DB design, I would say, because we have tables and entities, right? It's a DB schema, right? DB schema,
ma'am, one confusion here. Actually, if we see sales table and row number 1, okay, customer ID 2 means Sean Smith and quantity is 3. So whether Sean Smith purchased 3 quantity or what?
3 quantities, yeah, 3 cameras he purchased.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Ma'am, from this table, you are like saying that Will Smith bought 3 cameras. In that item ID and custom ID is like foreign key, which like bring the relationship. In the quantity and all, how people working in any organization or
they will create this table, sir, before only. These tables are already created.
Okay.
These tables are already created in the database. Now, like let's assume I'm a manager. I want to know how much has Will Smith a customer purchased. What are his sales for the quarter? Or what are his sales for the month?
No, ma'am. My question is like when the retail sales manager is working, like when preparing bill or something, where will he be entering that item quantity list manually, like say for example, like
No, sir. We will be doing everything in the front end. What I'm showing you is in the database, the back end.
Oh.
So what I'm telling you here is how is the relationship created between tables?
No.
Like in simple words, how does SQL work, the back end? When I constantly was saying that SQL is Rdbms, this is Rdbms.
Oh. Okay, got it.
Clear? Yeah. Okay, guys. Clear with this example, guys, all of you?
Yeah.
I just wanted to understand, like table keys, I can understand that like we are using it to relate to the tables. As mentioned, tables are related by keys and table keys are used to create relationship with tables. Now, foreign key जो आपने बोला मैम इसमें foreign keys. So I'm just confused. Like
foreign key में foreign key is nothing but a key that is original, not in your table, sir.
Okay.
Foreign key is समझो foreign से बाहर से it came inside. Okay. Foreign key is not an original key. Now, if I want to get how much Will Smith has purchased,
right?
How much has Will Smith has purchased? I am introducing it into this record only to get that concerned data.
Okay.
So tomorrow, let's assume I have created Will Smith table. Story will be different. Okay. So
got it, ma'am. So in similar case, like if you want to know how much camera is been sold, the camera will become the foreign key, right?
Exactly.
Done. Okay.
Exactly. So anything that is not original would be a foreign key. Clear so far, guys?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Take care. Yeah. Okay, guys. Shall I go? Can I go forward? I see there are certain doubts. Ma'am, it's not confusing. It's just logical. Okay. I'm very good. Thank you so much for understanding. Ma'am, I got Dbms and Rdbms. What is role of SQML? What is SQML? You talking about SQL. Guys, what is role of SQL? This is what SQL will do backend. Initially, there was no such stuff, which is why we have introduced SQL. SQL is doing all this for us, and within seconds, I'm getting the data back. That is a major advantage. Things will get very faster. Okay, guys?
So, ma'am, SQL is, ma'am, relating all these things, all these keys.
Relationship database management system, the job, whatever I'm telling you, is done by SQL.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, now basically, when talking about a database, or forget about SQL, MySQL, Oracle, no matter what, guys, every database will have certain fundamental functions. This is what a database will do. Okay. And it is abbreviated by CRUD. That is create, read, update, and delete. Guys, whenever you're talking about a database must be able to create records or tables, read the records and tables, update them, and delete them. Okay. So no matter tomorrow when you go to work in a company, if you're using MS, MySQL, or SQL, or any other tool, or even Oracle, every database will do only these 4 items: create, read, update, and delete. Okay, clear so far, guys? What is create, read, update, and delete? I'll explain this a little detailed in a minute. But for now, these are 4 functions that a database will do. Now, let's talk about what can SQL do. Don't panic with what happens here. I'll explain you in a very simple terminology what can an SQL do here. So, guys, first and foremost, SQL can execute queries. Now, what do you mean by executing? Guys, do not panic. Executing is opening of that query. Executing is running. When I put one question, I'm able to get an answer back. I'm able to get some data. That is called as executing in SQL. So SQL can execute the query is a question. Whatever that you're looking for, do you want to delete a record is a query? You want to add a record is a query? Whatever you want to do, that is a query. It can execute the queries. It can retrieve the data from a database. It can pull the data from the database. It can insert records. If I want to add a new record to a table, I can do that. I can update the records. We can delete the records, create a new database. We can create new tables in a database. Okay, there's what do you mean by a stored procedure is nothing but if I want to introduce a new patch or a new feature, we can also do with the help of a SQL. We can create views. What do you mean by create views? Very simple. I'll tell you. See. So guys, basically, what happens is database is just like a locker. People are very scared to get into database. Even though you are 10 years experience BA, we should be scared of a database, guys, because it's a very, very secured area. One small mistake, the whole company will collapse. Guys, I'm sure we all know we had through this COVID, right? We had this one pharma company, their one employee by mistake has deleted 1 day's data. The company had to stop the production of the vaccine for whole 6 months. Just because of one minor error.
But why, ma'am?
Has stopped. Because the whole data is gone now. We don't know whom to sell where, what is the complete
But it was for 1 day, na?
Exactly. Here, one small error, what happened is, because there's connections here, no? If you look at Rdbms, there's a relationship between data.
Okay. You're talking about relational
data is the whole, they had to stop. Again, they had to create those tables, those records. Again, the production will start.
Okay.
So it is a very secured area, guys, because please understand, when you go work in a company, don't play with the data. It's very, very secured. Honestly, things will go very halfway. The data goes wrong. Okay. What is view, create views? The database administrator will restrict the view. How much can you see? How much can I see? How much can anybody see? He will restrict the data. You can only, that is when you can view those specific areas in a database. And what is permissions? SQL will give and can set the permissions. The database administrator.
You're talking about, ma'am, data access, right?
Data access, yeah, like that's a word, access. Here, retrieving is an access, inserting is access, updating is access. What all access can I get is what we will do with SQL. Okay? So SQL can do all of this in an organization. Clear so far?
Analyst has the access to only view this data.
BA can only have an access to view the data.
So with every table, every procedures, can SQL set like who will be allowed to see this and who will not be allowed?
Undoubtedly. Database administrator job only is to do this.
But like when I have seen the resume, it's written like you should be able to know how to extract data. So what exactly that means, ma'am?
You have to run the queries.
Extracting data is where you just put one information, like for example, I want to view a record on the data in a table. Okay, when you're putting that command, are you able to get the data from the database? That is extracting. You will not be able to do anything else, unfortunately. And unfortunately, BA has a very, 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 very limited access to the database, guys.
So, ma'am, BA is like audience in the database.
Only audience, yeah, that's the right word. Only view the picture.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. Can you just repeat the point related to stored procedure in a database? Like you mean like scripting kind of a thing or what?
A stored procedure, as far as I understand, is nothing but if I want to add a new patch or a new feature, I want to upgrade or something. Okay, that can be done using SQL.
But not by the BA, but by the database.
No, it's a code actually. You're trying to prepare one SQL code.
Okay. It's kind of an automation thing, right? Suppose if I wanted to upgrade or new thing.
Yes, if you want to reuse it, if you want to rewrite again and again over it, you can use it and you can put it as stored procedure. Like for example, let's assume I want to have a query. I want to reuse it every other day. Every day I want to view that record or the table. It's a very common thing. So instead of writing the query again and again, the best way we would do is we will put it as a stored procedure. We'll save it as a stored procedure. Automatically, the query will be run.
Yeah, basically, it's a kind of scripting kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, clear?
I'm actually, what is the difference between database and schema? Exactly.
Schema is nothing but a combination of tables and entities.
Okay.
Database, whatever you see, I'll show you an image though. You'll be surprised that is called as a DB schema. I'll show you in a minute.
When an interviewer asks that do you have 2 or 3 year experience into SQL, so they just mean that you must have the access or you must have the knowledge to extract data.
That's it. That is it. You should be able to, when a SQL architect talks to you saying, ma'am, do you know what is a query? You should not have a blank face saying, I don't even know what is a basic query mean. Okay, you should have that knowledge to talk to him or her.
Okay.
That
And
is
query
what
is nothing, just putting a query like what data I need. That is the only meaning,
yes,
right?
that's it. That's it. That is it.
So,
Here means
ma'am,
schema is a collection of tables. Okay.
I will show you, sir. I'll show you what is a schema. Don't worry. Just give me a minute.
Fine,
I will show you an image of that.
I have a question.
Yeah,
So
please.
does the DB, BA, they use the SQL or it's just the knowledge we should have? Or
Can you
we
please
use
repeat
it?
again, ma'am?
What I'm saying is, we are the business analyst, right?
So
So do we use SQL or it's just the knowledge we should have? Or we
you should
use
have a
any procedure
knowledge.
in the...
You should have knowledge towards understanding what is a database, because in a company you can also have MySQL, you can have SQL, you can have an Oracle, right? No matter what, you should have that knowledge as to understand what is this. And we are using one of the tools, that is SQL. That's it.
Do we have to write the queries, or the queries are provided by the technical team?
They will be provided to you by database administrator. They'll help you.
So, ma'am, the
We
tools
should have the
which
basic
you
knowledge also.
Basic knowledge is enough, sir.
Okay.
Ma'am, the tools you were talking about, that Oracle, MySQL, these are same or just the updated versions?
No, they're not same. They're not same. There are of different though. Oracle is a different company, but they're all like, just like, like for example, you see MS Visual Rational Row Suite. They do the same job, but they're different, right?
Yeah, that is
Like
that we use because due to diagrams, like we are giving...
Similarly here also you use it more like this is also database, just that we have different purposes for it.
Yeah,
different companies use
only
it different.
Like all are database type applications, right?
Right.
Or software.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I just want to ask you one thing. मतलब मुझे जितना SQL में जितना मैंने काम है इतना मुझे आता है, ठीक है? जैसे कि वहाँ पे हमने एक स्टूडेंट का मतलब वो बना लिया, स्टूडेंट का टेबल बना लिया, और हम नीचे स्टूडेंट का नेम, उसका एड्रेस, उसका फोन नंबर, जो टेबल बनता है ना, मुझे इतना बनाना आता है, जो टेबल नीचे बनता है। तो बस हमें इतना ही जानना जरूरी है या फिर इससे
actually we won't even create tables, sir. What I'm telling you is we won't even create tables in real world. We will not even create those tables. We'll only view the records in a table. That is also not given to us.
Okay. Fine.
That is also not given to us.
Yes, I have learned, ma'am, like how to...
Yeah, that is because luckily if you work in a startup or if you have any person who's interested, he'll give you an access though, but in reality, they will not give you. At least I was never given an access to create a table. We can view the table, not create them. That's it.
अच्छा, बस मतलब हम लोग को वहाँ से view करना है और मतलब जो भी हमें data चाहिए वहाँ से हमें retrieve
That's
करके
it.
वो करना है. अच्छा.
Exactly. Clear, guys,
It
all of you
means
now?
only view and extract it.
That's it, sir.
So Dbms is just the database which a company have, and SQL is just to make a relational into that database so that we can extract the data easily. Is that the right understanding?
Yeah, more or less, yes.
Ma'am, और एक बात, hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
हाँ मैम, अभी ऐसे कि अब जैसे कि इंटरव्यू में हमें कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछता है, जैसे कि आपने बताया, बस हमें वहाँ से देखना है और रिट्रीव करना है.
That's it.
अभी इंटरव्यू में हमें किस तरह क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे मैम, मतलब इस फेज में?
Interviewers will ask you what you see. I'll tell you what. Just give me to answer this question. Just give me some time. You'll also get an answer by the end of the session. Okay.
अच्छा, ठीक है.
Yeah. So guys, can I go forward or do you still have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Shall I go forward?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Yes,
ma'am. So guys, now in an SQL, we have 4 different categories of commands. I would say we have 4 different commands that are there in SQL, guys. You'll understand things way better now. Okay. One is called as DDL, DQL, DML, and DCL. Now, what does that mean? Let me just go here. Okay. Guys, DDL full form is data definition language. Okay, can you see my screen? Is it clear? Decent enough? Okay. DDL's full form is data definition language. So in DDL, what can one do? We can create, he can alter the table, he can drop the table, rename the table, truncate the table. Just a second. Yeah. The person can truncate the table and comment on the table. Now, what is create? I can create a table. I can create a stored procedure. I can create a code with which we can reuse the code over and over again. We can alter the table wherein we can add, delete, and modify the columns in an existing table. Okay, we can drop. What is drop? I can drop a table from the database, not delete. I can hide it or I can drop it.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The word written, sorry, here, create procedure command is used to create a stored procedure. It means he's also extracting the data, or like he's making a new one.
Look, I'll tell you one thing, sir. See, so every day, let's assume you have a retail store, and every day morning you come and you want to view this Will Smith car record every day morning.
Okay.
So instead of I saying Will Smith, I will create one code where every day morning automatically SQL pull out that record only.
Okay. Oh, by default.
By default, you're putting a code like that.
Okay.
The database administrator is putting a code wherein that Will Smith record is coming every day.
Okay.
That is stored procedure. Okay. So guys, here rename. You can rename a table. What is truncate? Truncate is wherein you can remove the rows from the table. You can change the table structure and comment. You can add any explanation to that statements, SQL statements, or it is just helping you. Guys, do you think a BA will do all this or should do all this?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. The answer is no. So DDL
this is work of administrator.
Exactly. This is all done by a database administrator. So he is the one who will do DDL. Create. This is one of the commands of the. So guys, here if you say this create, alter, drop, these are commands that we give in that SQL. You're getting it? Create table, alter table. Do you see this in the capital letters? Alter table. These are commands. These are the commands that are given in the SQL. Okay, clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is all done by a DBA. Next, DQL. What is the full form of DQL? Data query language. DQL ka full form is data query language, where one person can select the data from the database and it is stored in the table, and accordingly you will pull this. So as I told you, right, as a BA, you can use this feature to get any data. You can search the data from the database. Okay, just from any table, if you want to search any data, you can do that and you can pull out. But in again, it is generally not asked by a BA. It is generally given to a senior BA kind of a role where you will be able to get the data, and luckily we will be trained on it, guys. Don't worry. As a BA, we will be trained to retrieve the data. It is not, they will not give you just like that. They will train you on this. Okay, so just for an interview purpose, what is a BA can do? He can use what? DQL, data query language. What is DQL? In that you can select the data from a table, retrieve the data and show that to the concerned stakeholder only if it is required or asked. Clear now? Next.
Yes.
The third one here is called as your DML, data manipulation language. What does that mean? Here in this DML, we can insert same story, update, delete, merge, call. Now, what is this call function that is very unique here is, it is just saying that if you want to explain any statements, SQL statements, we will use the call function, where if you want any support on that query, we can have this call function where this will be executed backend. Okay. Then explain plan in order to explain
Once
the
again,
database.
ma'am. Once again,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah,
Call
sure.
one.
If you want, if you want to get any help on any statements, or if you're getting any query on any issue with the statement, you want some specialist to look into that query, right?
Okay.
Then you would use this call command.
Okay.
Okay, and what that answer, that explanation, like say, I'll simple say guys, when you go and work in an application, you have that help option, no? The right click, you have a help option. What
Right,
can you
right.
do? Search. That is
Right,
here.
right.
That is call here.
Okay. It's like a like a support thing. Yeah.
Support thing, which is automatically inserted into the system only.
Okay.
More like help desk.
Right, right,
Then you
right,
can
right.
explain that, and you can lock a table. Again, do you agree that who does all this? Does a BA do all this?
No, ma'am.
Again, done by a
Administrator.
department. Then we have the last one called as data control language, where we will grant the controls. Now this is only to control. We will grant the permissions. We will pull out the once you are working on a database, once your phase is over in a project, the database administrator will revoke those privileges. He will not give you this database access all through the project. No, he will not. For example, today you want to search the data, he'll only give you access for one day only. Tomorrow he will pull out the privileges. You getting it? So grant and revoke is a control language where the concerned department people will grant you the permission and will retrieve the permission, remove the permission. These are your 4 commands of SQL. This is what all of you can do, all of us can do in a SQL. These are your commands, guys. Clear? Any questions so far? Any doubts?
Ma'am, do we get this all PPTs and all? Is it available on the
portal? You have this recording though, but I'm not sure about the PPT. I have to check with the team.
Okay, but it would be great if we, you make it available for all of us, because we can also refresh it before
we
we
can go
face
through
the
it,
exam.
yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Recording means that you'll anyway see, but definitely I'll talk with the team and management and let you know about it.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Yeah.
And I have a question.
Go
Like
ahead.
DDL and DML, right? In DDL,
yeah.
in
DDL,
DDL, yes. In DDL, it is create, alter, drop, truncate, comment, and but in DML again it's insert update. So alter and update, what is the difference?
Alter is nothing but when you are editing a record.
Okay.
Update is where you're adding more records. Probably you're updating or something more to a better version, or you're updating more different screens or more tables and rows. That is altering, is you're making into the existing table, you're altering, you're making any changes. Hello? Yeah.
Is creating related to the first time creation, and alteration maybe next successive steps?
Alteration ke baad you can update.
Okay.
You'll alter and you'll update.
So what is the full form of DML, you said?
DML is data migration. Data migration language. Yes, a manipulation language.
Data manipulation.
Data manipulation language. Okay, guys, clear?
Ma'am, can you explain revoke, ma'am? Revoke.
Revoke is pulling out your permissions, Amma. Pulling out your permissions. Once you're done with your job, the database administrator will pull out the permissions. You will not be able to view the database anymore.
Okay, ma'am.
That is revoking back. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys. Now let's get into the SQL now, guys. So as I mentioned earlier, guys, we have SQL. Yeah. Hello. Someone asked me a question. Someone asked me a question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Yes. So, ma'am, I just want to clear one thing. Okay. मतलब जितना भी आपने भी दिखाया ना हमें, मतलब जो भी मतलब आपने दिखाया, तो वहां से मतलब जो भी जितना भी टेबल बनाएंगे वो करेंगे, वो सब मतलब बैक ऑफिस का टीम करेंगे ना, एडमिन डिपार्टमेंट करेंगे, ठीक है। और हम लोग को बस मतलब ये जो ग्रांट वाला ऑप्शन और रिवोक वाला ऑप्शन दिया जाएगा, तभी हम इसके ऊपर काम कर सकते हैं।
Okay. Yeah. So guys, now for us to practice on SQL, unfortunately, it is not a very simple thing, guys. SQL Server application is a very big job, and see, you have to do a lot of installations for this. You have system must support SQL. If you see my system, I have installed SQL, but it wasn't working. Okay, so you can actually install SQL Server. This is the one. You can see my screen. Okay, wait, I have to share. Just a second. My screen now. See. Guys, we can actually install Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, but for that you need a technical person to do it, and it has a lot of technical requirements needed. So in order to make our life very easy, we have another replica of this that is called as MySQL Workbench. If you can look at my screen, it is MySQL Workbench. It is very simple. You just have to go on the Google and just say that MySQL Workbench download. Okay, you will be able to download it. It will only take few minutes, and we also have a link that is given here. MySQL download MySQL Workbench. You can also click there and also download the application. Here it is open source. You do not need any dependency or anybody to install or to download this Workbench. Clear so far? No? Okay.
Yes, but do you want us to now or later?
No, later. Don't do it now. You'll get confused. Okay. So you will go to MySQL Workbench. So let me see if I can do that for you. I have already installed it, guys.
This is the replica of database, right?
It is a no, it is not database. It is only way you can get, see, whatever commands I've showed you, know, the DML, DDL, all that you can do in this SQL Server. Okay, yeah. Just give me a minute. It is opening.
SQL is a application, is a software or a server?
It is a tool.
It is a tool. Okay.
Tool. Yeah.
Tool
yeah,
to
Shubham,
make
you can
a
get the
relation.
recorded tool. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Tool to create a relation between the database.
Yes.
It is a tool to communicate with database, right?
Communicate, yes. Of course, that is what she said. Yes, it is only to understand the get data from the database. Clear, guys, now? Let me share my screen. Oh, okay. Yes, can you all see my screen now? So once you download that, once you install it, this is what you will be able to see. Because I'm again repeating, MySQL Workbench is nothing. It is a very simple version of SQL. However, it has very limited features in it because it is not a full-fledged tool wherein we can do all of the job. You're getting it? Okay. So don't worry if we have any restricted application, because we're only here to do very limited work on SQL. Yeah. Okay. So guys, now this is the home. So I just wanted to show how does a schema look like. Someone asked me, right? See. Yeah. We are just downloading a model file. Once the whole schema has been created, how will it look like? So guys, if you see here, See, this is nothing but a ER diagram. See, this is a model schema. Someone is asking me, ma'am, what do you mean by a schema? This is your schema. So if you have this table, see, we have table, customer table, we have a language table, we have actor tables, all these tables are there. Then we can view the, what can we do? We can view the information, actor information, customer list, film list, and all that we can view, and we are able to do this. As I mentioned earlier, we have only certain specific privileges
hello?
that, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I just want to ask you one thing, like what the table you are showing as of now to us, ma'am. So this access will be given to us over.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay.
This is all given to us.
Okay,
Yes.
given to us. Okay.
This is only a model view, only to view, see how it will look like in the back end.
Okay.
That's it.
Ma'am.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, can you just, my network was not there for a few minutes. So can you please tell me once again that how you came on this page, just for once?
See, if you go to this Workbench ka home screen, see here. If I go back to this home, okay, do you see these 3 dots here, 3 squares? I went, hello.
Yes.
Someone.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. I will just select this. This is nothing but a model. I have opened it. Clear now?
Clear.
Yeah, this is the complete data model. So basically we have a data model where we have the tables that is already created. We are able to view the data. We are able to look at all these groups and everything that is already there. These are the fields or the records that is there in the tables. Clear now, guys?
Ma'am, hello.
Yeah.
मैम जो साइड में जो बना कर रखा हुआ है जो टेबल्स आपने देखा है ये मतलब बैक ऑफिस टीम करेगी ना ये सब बना कर
It is already there. That is all database. It is already there in the back end. Just for our understanding only, it is given to us, nothing else.
Ma'am, can you explain views here?
View is nothing but what can you view, what data is accessed, what is the data that is visible to us, what we can. I told you, no, we have restrictions, we have set permissions is there, right? So this is the data which can be viewed, that is given by the database administrator for anybody to view.
Here in views we can see that there is a customer list, there is a film list,
yes,
nicer but slower films.
Yes, which is this information is viewable.
Film category, sales by store. So this is like.
Sorry, your voice is breaking.
Is view is something we have joined multiple tables and we have created some kind of.
It's not we who have done that as a BA. It is already done at the back end. Only the information of these tables can be viewed.
Does it mean views is like these are the queries which have already been run?
These are the tables that you can view. I haven't put the query. These are only the tables that, like for example, let's assume the database also has the information about a very confidential client. Can I view his data?
Okay.
I should not. You agree?
Okay.
Right? So the database administrator has restricted the views. When you connect to a database, what can you see and what are you not allowed to see?
Okay. No, here
these are
in the tables I can see there is a film category and there is a film. And in the views there is a sales by film category. So does
which
it
means
mean
in that
they have joined two tables somewhere by some query and only that we can view?
Yes, more or less, yes. To answer your question, I would say yes.
So in the background, they have already joined that.
Done. Yeah. Yes.
So here they have made a relational database already, which we can directly go and see.
Relation database is already, that is what is MS SQL. That is Rdbm is already there. That is where The relationship is already created. Now we are viewing the record. That's it.
Okay.
Ma'am, one question is there. This is the view that we can see in SQL, right? So if we want to, from BS perspective, we are going to use this data for mainly for the document preparation, right? So
project.
yeah. So is it? I mean, is this the only like the data can be seen in the table format only, or can we download this data as Excel or any other file?
That download is not possible to you. I told you, no, you have restrictions as a BA. You can't do anything there. You can only view.
So if we can only view, how we can copy this data, or how can we
you don't
take
have
this
to copy.
data?
You will only view it here. You can't copy it. You're not supposed to copy it.
We have to use this data in the document preparation. So somewhere
then you'll only see document preparation. You will not take this data, sir. You'll only see if it is working or not. You'll only take it as a reference.
Okay.
Not,
no,
but you can't retrieve
no.
the data from here.
But ma'am, if we will not extract this data, if we want to get out at some conclusion, like we want to extract or like make a bar chart, or we want to show like what is the sales or something.
Okay, let me answer this. With this data, we will not come to any conclusions. Getting it?
Is it already
the main
concluded
purpose?
data?
Hold on. Let me finish. I'm sorry to interrupt. The main purpose of we doing this is only to know if the data is present in the database. See, now let's assume if we have a client. Like for example, I work for TCS, guys. Okay, Apple is already your client. Now Apple wants to introduce a new product. Okay, now should Apple create a new database, or is that item there in the database? If it is there, what should I do as a BA?
It is only for gathering for information.
I will only view, sir, this data is there, sir. We can start the project. You can start the project. You can connect all this and you can start. You agree? If that data is not there in database, I will ask a DBA to create a new database or new tables. You agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? That is the job. That's it. I'm not supposed to pull out the data from here and put it in any other documents.
Okay, so this is just for the reference, and we
only for reference, only to see the database. Should I create a new record, or should I create a new table? Am I okay with it, or what should I do? That kind of decision will be taken using this. That's it.
It's like only the source of the data which we, or what do you say, only for the reference, nothing
only
else.
For the reference. You can't pull out the data. You're not even allowed to do that.
Okay. It is only for information, ma'am.
Only for information. If 1 second. Very sorry. Just a second, guys. 1 second. Huh?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, guys. Yeah. Any questions now?
Ma'am, one small question.
Yes.
If is this data representation differs from I mean differs in different companies? I mean,
should not. Technically, it should not.
Like the view that you are showing right now, will it be the same for all the companies in all databases?
Probably what you can see here is only a very limited version of database. We don't have, totally right, we don't have all the features. Probably it will be very similar though. It will be very similar to what I'm showing you. Yes.
Okay. And how we just
and only even if you don't understand, don't worry, we will have that help. The concerned person will help you understand this also.
Yes, whether it would be, I mean, is there any possibility to handle this data online for
you have
in the tool?
Sir, you have sample data available in the market, in the internet though, but it will be a little challenging for you to understand that.
Okay.
Because generally we don't create a database, neither do we insert it into a SQL, right? Which is why it will be a little complicated, and it is also, most importantly, it is not our job also. So that is why I don't worry on the unwanted things.
Yes, yes. Okay.
That is what my
Ma'am, who can give the access to BMM for viewing?
Database administrator.
She's the only person who can give
Only
that.
person who will do that. Guys, it could be a DBA, DB engineer, database analyst, different name, but DB is team member.
So as a BA, if they don't find whatever he's looking a particular item, so in that case, what BA has to do?
I didn't understand your question.
Actually, BA can see any record, any item, whatever he wanted to see there. So if he won't find that item,
he can talk to a database administrator. He will help you.
Okay.
I'm actually one query. If, for example, you say no previously, already entity relationship is defined by a developer, SQL developer, or a database administrator. Okay. But in case I want to retrieve data for which entity relationship is not defined. In that case, whether we use, joins and unions or what?
No, we will not do anything. We will only intimate that person. He will do it.
Okay. Then what is the use of the joins and unions? Just like to know, man.
I'm not very sure about that, sir, because that I haven't used it ever though.
Okay.
So definitely I'm not very sure about what is the joins and unions. So, but I'm sure, as you have asked, it is only to join multiple records is what I'm assuming.
Ma'am, one last question. Hello. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, यहाँ तक जो आपने समझाया मैं समझा मेरा बस मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है मैम, जैसे कि पेमेंट का हम ये ले लें, ठीक है, पेमेंट का जो मतलब टेबल यहाँ पे ले लें, ठीक है, तो पेमेंट में सोचो आप इसके अंदर 5000 मतलब वो होगा डेटा होगा, ठीक है, अभी मतलब एज ए बीए हमें वहां से मतलब क्या इंफॉर्मेशन निकालने के लिए पड़ सकता है, लाइक जस्ट एन एग्जांपल में, क्योंकि हमें बस वो एक्सेस दिया जाएगा जहां पर रिकॉर्ड फाइन, सो जो पेमेंट का हमें एक्सेस दिया गया है,
या मैं वही बता रही हूँ. Maybe we might have to pull out the data of one customer. Or we might have to pull out the data of a sales of a day.
Okay.
Ma'am, but we have to run the query to extract that. So where and how that query will be written in this SQL so that we can extract the data. Maybe we will have the view access, but how we can write a query and find out the data?
I'll just try to do that for a minute. I'll just show that also now. So here, whatever you have seen like this, no, everything is put in a diagrammatic format. If you look at my screen, this is the DB schema. Someone is asking me, right? This is the DB schema, guys.
The previous screen was a DB schema, or this screen is
this is DB schema's pictorial representation is what I'm showing you on the screen.
Is it the ER diagram?
Yes.
Okay, that is entity relationship diagram basically.
Yes. Okay. Do you see this? This is what is ER diagram. Clear, guys? Any questions so far?
So, ma'am, schema is a collection of tables and database is
records also. See, do you see these records inside?
Yeah,
records. See, do you see this green color here? If I have highlighted it here?
Yes.
Foreign right? Keys. That is exactly. Now, here, guys, you can take a class next time. Clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Shall I move forward? Okay. Now, again, going back here. Just a second. Let me see if I can. Okay. Someone was asking me a question, right? Where can I run the query? Guys, this is, can you see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Yes.
So do you see this? This is where I will create the query, guys. Okay. So you can first go to the database, connect to a database. You will connect to a database and you can create one table. Just I'll also show you how you can do this. Just give me a second. So guys, if you remember, I gave you those commands, no, create, alter, table, all that.
Correct.
This is the commands. You see this create here?
Yes.
That is a command give.
Would we be able to write the comment also when we will be like putting a query for the database?
Unfortunately, I don't have a connection to the database here.
Okay. But here we would be writing the query, right?
Yes, this is where we will write the query. I'll just show you one small piece. Unfortunately, we don't have a database connection base to show you. We don't have, because as a BA, we don't. In this session, I don't have that sample database.
Okay, just write the query how to write as a
I will just show you. Just give me a second. It is opening actually.
I mean, everyone can have the access for writing the query, ma'am.
Yes. You can write. No, you have
data.
Only BA has access, or
everybody can have access. Only you can view. For everything, you have to write a query. If you look at the 4 commands I told you, DML, DDL, all that, they're all queries only. You have to write those commands.
We have to make a table, ma'am, and everything put out there, right?
You have to, for everything, you need to write a query. Just a second, please.
So in this database, if I want the just 2 tables like the film city name and the film actor's name, so I will write a query and that data will be extracted in 2 tables,
Yes.
right? Is it?
Yes, just a second.
Okay.
Let me show 1 second. Okay. Just for your understanding, I have opened this. Okay. Now what I will do is, do you see this left side? I have all this database, security, server objects, application, all this. Do you see this left side?
Yes, but from where you opened this, I did not see.
This is MS Server Management Studio. This is what I have installed. No, this is same.
Okay.
Workbench is same. This is also same.
Okay.
So now what I
And
will do,
you can get data from anywhere, na? Like
not
Excel and
everywhere.
all.
No, ma'am. Actually, in the company, you'll get a company ka database. But from now, we can also download a sample database, which I tried doing it, but it's asking for a lot of technical requirements where I was not able to. Okay. So guys, this is where you can create one query. Like for example,
Ma'am, this is not a workbench, right? This is original MS SQL Management Studio, right?
MS, I didn't understand.
No. This is MS SQL Management Studio, right? It is not a workbench.
Workbench, yes. The reason why I couldn't do in Workbench is because the connection has failed here for me. It says I could not connect, which is why I had to open that.
Okay. Fine.
I was not able to create a connection here, which is why I opened it. I'm using multiple tools for you to explain. So what I'm doing is, I said create a database, which we don't do it, guys. So we can create one database. See here, if I go to the database, I have created one for bike stores. COEPD, I have created one database. That's it. Database, probably I will say COEPD. One, let's see if I can execute. So guys, once you write a query, okay, you have to click on execute. Only then it will be executed.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When I will execute, it will say, see, it says it doesn't accept one. So let's assume I will say take
Some new you have to take.
test DBB. Let's see if I can execute. I'm not able.
Ma'am, the server is not selected. Running it on master.
No, it is actually selected. Create 1 second. Let me see how I can create. Yes. Yes, create database. I said schools, right? So if I refresh, can you see this refresh button here? If I refresh, I should be able to see this database here. Do you see this here left side?
Yes.
I have created one database. In original, we don't do it though, but for now I'm experimenting. I am creating one database. Clear so far, guys? So always it's a new query and then you execute that query. You'll get
Ma'am,
a
once again, please, once again.
sure.
Ma'am, what was
Yeah.
the mistake earlier you did so that it couldn't
What
create?
I have done is I have given a number which was not accepting.
So that means we can't add number?
We can do, but it has to be executed again back and we should give that backend key number should also be accepted. I'll tell you what. Wait. I'll also answer this question. See, here in this database, what if I want to create one table? See, here, I want to say that I want to create one table. Okay, I will go right click, say new. I will go to table. Okay, so now here I want to create one table. Let's assume. Okay, I will just give a student ID. Now, if I go here, what do you see? NCR is numerical characters.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So what does it mean is for the student ID, it will not accept any alphabets. It is only numbers. When you ask me a question, why am I not able to put a number there? Because the database administrator has only put as character, only alphabets, no numbers. A database cannot have a number, which is why it was not accepting a one.
Okay.
Clear so far?
Yes.
Right, like that, you create these tables and we create the queries. That is what we will do.
So to extract or pull a data, what query should be written? Like what
we need to be connected to a database for that.
No, I'm just asking. I'm not just asking you to do it. I'm just asking
so-
like to write a query. What can I write to extract or to view?
Select. Do you see this? My screen. Select. DQL. To select data from a database, you need to say select on what is the data that you want to pull out.
Okay, so if I write like there is the
Select.
there are all
Saying
the
create.
options. So select and actor list. So it will okay.
Get
Select the
the actor
database name, right? Select.
I'm sorry?
Select
Whatever. Yeah,
database
select
name and what
record.
we need it.
Probably select Will Smith from this record, from customer ID table or customer table. If you put a query and you execute it, you will be able to view it.
Okay.
Can you put that query, please?
I don't have it. No, there's no database. That is what I'm telling you. I'm not connected to a database here. From where will I select the data when I'm not connected
So
to a database?
select is the command, and then you have to put only that whatever is the name ID or name or anything. It's that particular
Whatever.
thing.
Yes.
That column name, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, please show us again how to create a database.
It's very simple. Go to this. Go to this new query. Okay, you go to the new query. You will go to this new query. Okay, you will say create database Is Sql. Okay, and you will execute. Commands completed successfully. You will refresh it and you will be able to view it here. What is that?
Ma'am, I think there is also a condition like the name of the data, the name of the table which is already reflecting over there. We cannot choose the same one, right? We have to choose a new
Because the
one.
database is already created there, no? You don't want to create a new.
Achha.
You don't have two databases of the same name.
Achha, okay.
That's why. Clear now, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you show us a select query from any of these bike stores usually named?
The bike store is just the name. There is no data inside that bike store database. If there is no data, I would not be able to pull out the data from there. There is the only name is there where I would just want to show you a query. That's it. There is no information inside the database. Okay. Clear so far, guys, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what a BA we will do. A BA we will be able to put a query and we will get the data. That's it. That is where we will end the job, guys. So this is all about the SQL. Now you can ask me any questions that you have for me, guys.
Ma'am, the very first question which I have, I am a BA. I'm working for a company. I
Okay.
am working on a project. Now, what SQL is helping me to retrieve the data or to view the data. But where I will be really required, can you just illustrate an example like how
That is what I told you,
help a
Amazon
BA?
example, right? I gave you Amazon example. Now, Amazon wants to introduce, you're working as a BA with Amazon. Okay. Now, Amazon wants to introduce a new client.
Okay.
Which is Patanjali, I gave you, right? Now, when I want to introduce a new client called Patanjali, can Patanjali start selling its products from day 2?
Day 2.
Day 2. Yeah.
Yes.
Today, it can I sell products from day 2?
No,
Yes.
ma'am.
Because Amazon
No,
has
ma'am.
I am Amazon employee. Yes, I'm working as a BA with Amazon. Can I sell? The new client has come in saying, please sell my products from tomorrow. Can I start doing?
No.
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because
Data.
Amazon has to set like what is the product.
What kind of product
Amazon,
line they want to sell
exactly.
on Amazon
Amazon
is
should
the main.
understand the product type, all that is done in
Data.
SWOT analysis. Everything is decided. Now, I want to make sure those products are sold. For that, I need data, no? When you're putting it live, and as a customer says toothpaste, the toothpaste must be there in the database. That is when through API you will connect to the Patanjali store and then give the product. Don't you agree?
Yes.
You agree? Right? That is why we will need database. So as a BA, you need to create this kind of data record, not create. We'll have to tell the person to create such data records wherein we can put the customer in our database. Now clear so far where is SQL used?
So in this example, now Amazon is telling us like this is the client I'm getting, and I want these features in my software. So these are the software update we need. So for that we give the solution, right? That is what you're telling?
No, not the features. I'm to ask you about the products. I'm here. The client wants to sell his products through Amazon. I have to introduce those products into my Amazon application. I'm not adding features to the Amazon.
So I'm the Amazon employee. I'm the BA of Amazon.
I am a client. Now I'm a client, ma'am. I come to you saying I want to sell my products through Amazon. What should I do? What application I want to sell my products through Amazon? What should I do?
Okay, so as a BA, I think we have to take all the information from your
What
end,
information will you take from me?
So
The products,
take
their prices, everything.
Product list, prices, customer, blah, 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 all that analysis you will do as a BA. Then what will you do?
Then we will tell the technical team that these are the client's requirement and which has to come in the system.
These are the client products which we have to sell through Amazon after a
We'll
month.
incorporate Patanjali data with Amazon so that customer can view the Patanjali like products too. Is it?
Exactly. Yes.
That means we are verifying the existing data, ma'am.
No.
We have to,
That
because
means
data means there is no Patanjali products. No, that is why I came to you. No, if you were selling
Okay.
Patanjali, why will I come to you if you're asking again to sell?
So as a BA, our role is to get all the information about Patanjali, and we have to go back to the technical team with the details of the product which has to be added to the software, right? I mean the product list. So
product list. Now tomorrow from next month or whatever, the client will be able to view the products. So those products, where should they come and sit?
Amazon
Amazon
app. I mean the
Database,
Amazon
database.
database. Amazon database.
Only be able to view it front end when there is in the back end, no?
Yes.
That is our job. Now, did you understand where is SQL coming?
Ma'am,
If SQL wasn't there, then we have to introduce or create a new database there with the help of SQL.
So
Those
basically,
commands I
we will
showed
not
you.
create. In fact, we will tell, right? These are the
we will,
products which has to be added. Then
exactly.
the database management will add them. We will not add it.
Exactly.
So as per Amazon criteria, we need to check that what all information is required from a seller is available in the database or not.
Yes. So now what, let's assume Amazon also want the customer ID. So there's a product name, product ID, blah, blah, blah. All those fields must be there in the database.
So for that, ma'am, how will we create that? So if
We have created no
Amazon
commands, create database, create table, create records. That's told, commands.
for create like
Database administrator. Database administrator.
No. What I'm trying to say, ma'am, like if suppose from the Amazon database we need to extract the mobile or the like appliances sale. So what command we should write?
We don't have to write any command. That's not our job only.
Yes, correct. And they will already provide us this access, and we just need to.
Here, when you're saying about retrieve, what exactly want you to do? What you want to view, you want to edit, you want to add, you want to delete. What exactly are you wanting to do?
I'm like I want that appliances
You
sale.
want to view. You want to view the appliance
Sale, yeah, right.
Yes. If you want to view, then yes, I will do it. If you want to add a new feature or appliance, then I'll go to the that team.
Okay.
Getting it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That is how we will. Now, did you understand the complete story, guys?
No, for that only, like ma'am, here you wrote create database iPhone, right? So if I want appliances sale report, so I will write create database appliances sale.
We won't pull out a report only, sir.
Then we write select.
I only want to see the data. I don't want to retrieve. You can't pull out a report.
As in BA, we can only use select command.
You can only view that information, that record is there or नहीं. If you वो record है या नहीं है वो ही पूछेंगे हम लोग. We are not getting a sales report.
हम यहाँ पे हम वो काम करेंगे जो टेबल आपने दिखाया था ना, मतलब कस्टमर लिस्ट ये वहाँ पे हम जाके चेक करेंगे ना डेटाबेस आईफोन के बारे में क्या
वो देखेंगे कि
that have a database for that sale, right? Like we have a database for us, right? So if we want to know or we want to track that how much wins students are in section B and in which how many are girls and how many are. So how will we extract that data?
You will only say this is where you have to give a command, whatever data that you want to view.
And basically he's asking which we have to use.
Select is the command.
Select.
Yes.
Select is name.
Select.
iPhone
And from this
create database, select whatever it is.
Like
just
in
like,
new
query.
Okay.
New
and then
query,
we have to write select.
That's
okay. Right. Done. Got it. If we have to create, then we have. It means that if we have to create, we'll go for a new query and create. And if we have
create
to
and
select,
compulsory execute. Please don't forget execute. Also should be there.
Done.
After putting the word select in that then we have to select table name or column name.
Where, sir?
Ma'am, just now you showed new query, then there's a box pop-up. We have to select command in that, and after typing select, we have to add in that like which column or like select
Table,
ID.
table. I've created one table, that's it.
Yes.
I've just
So,
one name.
yes, ma'am. So,
I've just
like
created,
when searching for a data in SQL, we have to go to the first new query, then we have to type a command select. After select, we have to mention something now also, ma'am. Like,
yes, you have to select which is that which field, कौन सा table में which record you want. You have to put there.
yes.
Yeah. Probably let's assume here table.
Ma'am, this is not
underscore. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
Ma'am, these commands are. Am I audible, ma'am?
It's breaking though.
Now it's clear, ma'am.
It's still breaking, but yeah, go ahead.
Ma'am, person told you, like using in SQL, we are using join, union. These are also very important topics.
Not
many interviewers ask.
Because we will know, interviewer should ask you what do you join in an interview, because that is not done by a BA. If it is a technical role that he or she is looking for, then yes. If it's not a technical role, you're not supposed to know what is a join doing in SQL, what is that other command doing in SQL, because that is not your functional guy's job. If he wants to hire a technical guy, then he should not take a BA interview. He should hire
But
you
once
for give you more
we
salary.
are aware now.
You don't have to, ma'am. You don't have to. You don't have to be aware. What is the point of you learning when you will not use it in your job?
So what commands we will use as a BA? Only select? Only select?
Only select. That's it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
That PPT?
What will ask the about SQL as an BA?
They'll only ask
Once
you
they are hiring for
what are the commands of SQL? What do you know about SQL? What do you mean by a query? Where do you enter a query? What are the commands to create? What is the command to select? What is the command to alter? They'll ask the name of those queries. That's it. How do you execute?
So where are those commands? Is there mentioned it?
It is there in the PPT, ma'am. You have missed the PPT.
So you'll share that PPT with us, right?
I should be able to do that. I have to check with the management only, then I'll be able to give you a solid decision on that.
Ma'am, will not be doing any real-time
The only problem here is we won't be able to do it. The reason being I don't have connection to the database. That is what it said, right? Connection
Can you please arrange it, because if we can't do the real-time thing, we'll not be able to get the things in a better way.
Ma'am, sir, to get to real time, the problem is we should have a sample database with us. Okay, we should get a sample database.
So you asked us to download the MySQL Workbench, right? So let's say we are downloading it. So how to use it?
Ma'am, please look at my recording, you'll understand it.
Ma'am, it's understood. Please continue.
This you have to go to my recording and you'll get it, ma'am. How to use it. Okay. Yeah, guys. Okay, guys, this is what is all about SQL. Yeah, go ahead.
Now you'll share this recording, that which you're saying?
Yeah, of course I will share this recording.
Ma'am, मेरा एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन था मैम, जो आपको स्टार्टिंग में पूछा था, मैंने आपने बोला I'll say by the end of this class में कुछ क्वेश्चन था. I forgot. I don't know if someone remember that. वही मैम की इंटरव्यू में हमें जो पूछेंगे मतलब किस तरह के क्वेश्चन हमें पूछेंगे, जैसे कि हमें
वही अभी मैंने बताया था ना, कौन से क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे आपको, अभी बताया था मैंने।
मतलब ऑल्टर का क्या वो है, जैसे कि सिलेक्ट, अच्छा क्रिएट टेबल का क्या फॉर्मूला है, वो सब है ना।
Yes.
Am I audible?
You are, yeah.
Yes. Actually, last week I've gave one interview with Credit Base for ITBA. So they asked me to fill the policy.
I'm sorry.
They just asked me.
Background noise, I believe, ma'am.
Am I audible now? Is it clear?
It's better though, but there's a lot of background noise. But go ahead. I'll see. Try to answer your question.
Okay, so last week I gave one interview with Credit for ITBA role. So they asked me for the second round. They asked me, tell me the logic. If they want to extract some data from the data, they wanted to know the code. They wanted to know the logic. So, अगर ऐसे questions आए तो how to tackle that?
Ma'am, that is what you'll say. That you'll say to first I view the database. I have to put the table ID. You can give one example. Customer table. May say I want to know the customer ID. Logic. What will you type there? That is what he's asking.
Okay, तो exactly वो proper code नहीं मांगते. They just wanted to know
Code
my
होगा ही
understanding,
नहीं.
right?
हम लोग कोड करते ही नहीं है ना, तो मांगेंगे कहाँ से?
No, ma'am, she's asking about the command.
वही बता रही हूँ ना मैं उनको. तो आप क्या बोलेगे? If you want to view code, if you want or a record, select what that record you want from which table, and then you'll execute. That is the command.
So the command is, one command is select the record
That is
name.
the command.
Command
The
is
table name from which table, and then
the
we will
other
execute.
command you said from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Right. Can you write it? Can you write it? What she's asking? Can you write it in that query?
Don't worry. Hold on. Just give me a second. Don't panic and don't get excited. 1 second. Let me show that now for you. Do you see this here?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the one. So I want to select from a table name. This is the command. Select from the table name. Do you see this here?
Yeah, I can see this.
Delete from any table. This is the command. Delete from customer table. Where do you want to delete customer name? What is the name of the customer? That is Alfred something. I want to create a database. Create a database, that database name. When you give a semicolon. I want to do database. This is the logic.
Ma'am, one question. So here what I understand is write select, then table name, say suppose actor list.
Customer name.
Yes. No, table name is okay, and then in the same line I will write select customer name,
comma, city. The table name is customer name, city. Hello?
I think the table name is customers, and what information she wants is customer's name and city, right? That is what this means. Select customer name and city from table name customers. That is what it is, right?
Table, see here the table name is customer name, okay? And from where what do you want that information? You want customer name. You put the name.
So here and city is fields, right?
Is a table.
Customer name and city is fields, and customer is a table, right?
Yes, right. Customers is a table. From the table customers, I want the name of the customer and the right.
Okay.
From the table called as customers, I want two information, which is customer name and the customer city.
Yes, got it.
Ma'am, would you please tell us some sample interview questions for SQL?
So this is what the last one girl has asked, right? What kind of query, what kind point, what is the logic when you want to select the data?
Logic.
This is what you have to give an example.
Yeah, I got it, ma'am. But I have one
Or
more.
if some of the
Currently,
participants have already attended any kind of interview, can they share some of the questions they were asked for SQL from their interview?
We would not have with us, sir.
I'm
Because
asking
you
the
know,
participants here who have joined this session.
ma'am, I have one more. I have the last question. I got this point, but now as I'm working as a BA, so but I don't use SQL. So now, suppose my customer, my client wants me to, give them the data for, some particular. So how can I like via API? So how can I give that through API?
API. Why will you give it through API? To applications. We will not give data. It is only for a bond between two applications.
So
it is only a connection between two applications. It will not. You can't pull out data using API.
No,
guys, if it is anything that is not related to SQL, can we please take it in other session? Yeah.
Sure, thank
you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
The first line says select. After that, it is main customer name, then comma city from customer. So, ma'am, in this case, customer name is our inquiry. Okay. City is city and from customer. So
Customers is a table.
Table name.
Guys, SQL there is no problem. Don't have to worry on the source big letters. That problem.
I got it, ma'am. But it is select is our. Then another after comma there is mention as that command or it is for our understanding.
It is a command.
This command, okay. I have to get customer name from column.
Table,
okay.
Ma'am,
okay, guys.
Where can we get this recording session, ma'am?
They will send it to you in the portal, ma'am. They will upload this into the library of the part. Probably just give us 24 hours, probably by Monday, because tomorrow they'll be on week off. By Monday, I think they should be able to upload this recording.
There is one more here, drop database. So when we select this drop database, that means the complete database will get deleted, right?
Database.
Let's say we have created schools just now. No?
Yes, we can. Yeah, we can drop the database.
Particular.
Dropped.
Ma'am, one more question. Like in the first one, select customer name. So suppose if I want another field, like pin code. So do I need to write one more query or comma field?
No, comma. Customer name, comma, city, comma, pin code from, provided that is there in the table. Provided it's there in the table only, you can, or else it will be a.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
One question, understand? Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Who does not have a question, you can actually log out because we are done with the content. I'm only answering the questions. Okay. If anyone who's completed, they can actually log out. Okay, guys.
Just explain this truncate one more time. The number, decimals, what is?
Yeah. Let me answer one person's answer, then I'll get back to you. Yes, sir. Someone's asking me a question.
One of our participants asked, what should be write a logic on that question? One of our participants earlier asked.
The same, select the participant asked me saying that how can I view the data from a table?
Okay.
So this is command, select from whatever you want to view and from which table.
Okay. Select after customer name. Next city from the customer, right? After that, semicolon have to put. Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So what do you want? You want to know about truncate. What do you mean by the word truncate to begin with? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by truncate, ma'am? I think I've explained that to you earlier.
Means it can remove all the rows from the table, what you said earlier.
I'm sorry?
Truncate, it can, we can remove all the rows from the table, disturbing the serial number or
It means shortened.
Truncate is nothing but it removes all the rows and columns and everything that are unused. Okay, if you have any small error or there is an empty column or something, it is not properly to remove that.
Table.
Okay, that is called as.
Hello.
So here we have to give the 345.156 whatever given. So that means the raw.
I want to remove that number, that decimal. I want to remove that table. That I will select and I will remove that row.
The figure just given, you want to remove that.
Remove that.
Or else we can put some rows and number also, and that also can be removed.
Remove. That is 345. 150 is the name of the row only. Is the number of the row.
Oh, okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, sir.
Ma'am, I need to ask something like I was going through the SQL thing, so I saw by collision and type of topics. So you haven't told anything about that.
Which one?
There were like group by topic, like that sort of topics were there. You told us about that.
Group by.
Yeah, group by collision and like that sort of thing.
I don't think so. I haven't.
These are the
Seen
commands
the
he is
recording.
asking actually. Group by commands.
At least I'm not very sure about what you are talking about, sir, because I haven't heard before.
Thing is, what we are seeing, it's only about that we should know how to like extract data. But the language, we are not knowing anything about the language, how to create it, how to do it. We are not getting anything like that.
We don't have to create, no. When you don't want to create, when you don't have to create, why do you want to learn?
But we should learn, right? It's not bad, I think.
Sir, if you want to learn something that you don't want to use, that is what I have been explaining from 2 hours. Yes, when you can only look at those commands, you can definitely, if you are interested, go take a sample database. I can start creating a database.
So by these, we should like select, truncate,
yeah. You, if you're really interested and you want to learn, sir, the best thing what you can do is go take a sample database. You can start creating the tables, columns, rows, and all that, and it.
Okay.
Clear, guys? Any questions that you have for me?
Nothing, ma'am. Nothing.
Hello, guys. Your voice is breaking. Any
questions?
Okay. Yeah, guys. So thank you.
Just tell us that we have 26 exams, right?
Ma'am, anything.
No. I'm not asking anything out of SQL. What I'm asking is, we have 26. So, in some exam, it is mentioned about SQL. Other than this, there won't be any question in those exams, right? Like these basic commands.
You should not have.
Okay.
I don't think so. You should have.
Okay. Yeah, that's it then.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for your time.
Ma'am, Ma'am, one
go
doubt,
ahead.
ma'am.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, every version tool has a view option, ma'am.
Yes. All those the commands what I gave you will be there in every SQL tool.
Ma'am, that means it has only access for us, ma'am, or
No.
it has
Many multiple stakeholders will have an
the data administrator istada ma'am access.
Oh yes, yes. Only data administrator will give the access to this.
Ante tane
No, he will be getting request for access, ma'am. He should be getting a request
Okay.
for access. Only then he will be following the orders of the top manager to grant the access.
అంటే దట్ మీన్స్ ప్రతి టూల్ కి కంపల్సరీ వ్యూ ఆప్షన్ ఉంటది బట్ కానీ దానికి యాక్సెస్ అనేది అతను ఇస్తాడు.
Anything, not just view, any access. Even if you want to get a login ID, also will be given to you by a database administrator. It is highly
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, I have a last query.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
yeah,
sorry
go
to
ahead.
interrupt.
Can I ask?
Madam, like, see, if at all we want to view something, is it necessary, like, we have to inform this admin team, like, the purpose of
No,
viewing
ma'am,
the
you
data?
cannot. It's just by you telling him that I want to view, he will not give you an access. He should get this request from the top management. Only then he
Okay.
will be giving you that access.
Oh,
Say, sir, I want to view a record. Please give me access. He will not allow. Management request, official, he will give us an access.
But simply we can't get the
So it'll
access
be a
for
time
opening the
limit
view, ma'am.
again.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not
It'll
at
be
all.
a time limit again.
Undoubtedly, ma'am. Undoubtedly, there would be definitely a very, very strict time limit given. You know, even for 1 hour also they can.
And the
give you
limitation for the.
Undoubtedly, yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
They're very rigid on that.
Yeah, yeah. Because all the
Yeah.
information will be stored about all
Oh
the
my God,
clients.
yes, yes. They're very. That is the reason why I'm not worried about SQL, because when you to bother us on this.
Yes,
They will like,
it's only a database, like all the information has been stored.
Like your Jira, Power BI, Tableau, where I am the king and the others are only listening, but here I am not the king. I'm only a participant.
Yes.
I'm just have to obey the orders.
Yes.
That is what it is all about.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
guys. Most welcome. Take care, guys. Thank you so much for your patience for
Thank
listening.
you, ma'am.
Take care.
Thank you
ma'am.
for the
Thank you.
details. Thank you.
Take care. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you.
Ma'am, if we have any doubts, can we again ask you, ma'am?
Ma'am, with SQL you're talking about, unfortunately,
SQL,
ma'am,
ma'am.
is, I'll tell you, I'm not sure if you know that, but I have my slot. We have evaluations that are blocked, ma'am. So the whole time we have evaluations, but definitely I can answer to your questions on WhatsApp.
Okay, ma'am. How can we contact, ma'am?
WhatsApp, you can take my number, ma'am. It is 799-799-2880.
1 minute, ma'am. 1 minute, ma'am.
Let me just write it down here.
Ma'am, 799.
2880.
Your good name, ma'am?
My name is Sangeeta.
Okay.
Ma'am, 799-2880.
799-799 twice.
Okay, ma'am. Actually, I got only 6 numbers.
799-799 and
2880.
880.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. If we have any about SQL, we'll contact you, ma'am.
Yeah, please, you can.
Thank you,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
can you have this PPT?
Sure, sir. I will actually upload this PPT we'll give it to the concerned team and they will upload it accordingly to the portal. You'll get the access in the portal only.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Chalo. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great weekend. Have fun. Meet you later. Okay.
Same to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.